Good morning to all of you guys. This presentation is the first of a series of presentations on the module Philosophy of Education. In the presentation, we are going to discuss the introduction to the philosophy of education of the first module Handout to prepare you for the first assignment, whose due date will be communicated to you when you receive the assignment document. My name is Temba Munemu, and I'm your lecturer for the module Philosophy of Education. In this presentation, we are going to discuss the following. What is a philosopher? What is philosophy? Branches of philosophy, the meaning of education, and the meaning of philosophy of education. We'll begin by discussing what is a philosopher. It is not easy to say what exactly a philosopher is. It is also even more challenging to define what philosophy is. This is because philosophy is very much broad-based and touches nearly every aspect of human life in science, art, education, religion, politics, medicine, and a host of other fields. As a result, we end up having different definitions of what these two terms mean. For example, in the Thesaurus dictionary, there are 6 different definitions or synonyms of what a philosopher is. In the dictionary, a philosopher is defined as a person who offers views or theories on profound questions in ethics, metaphysics, logic, and other related fields. It is also defined as a person who is deeply versed in philosophy. It is also defined as a person who establishes the central ideas of some movement, health, etc. It is also defined as a person who regulates his or her life, actions, judgments, utterances, etc. by the light of philosophy or reason. It is also defined as a person who is rationally or sensibly calm, especially under trying circumstances. Lastly, it is also defined as an obsolete, an alchemist, or occult scientist. What is philosophy? Philosophy comes from the Greek for love of wisdom, which gives us two important starting points. Love or passion for wisdom through the acquisition of knowledge and understanding. Philosophy is the study of the general and fundamental problems concerning matters such as existence, knowledge, truth, beauty, law, justice, validity, mind, and language. Philosophy is rational thinking of a more or less systematic kind about the general nature of the world, metaphysics or a theory of existence, epistemology or a theory of knowledge, conduct of life, ethics or moral philosophy. According to Quinton, 1995, everyone has some general conception. Everyone has some general conception of the nature of the world in which they live and of their place in it. Furthermore, everyone has occasion to doubt and question other people's beliefs, including their own, with more or less success without any theory supporting why they are doing so. Philosophy is distinguished from other ways of addressing questions such as religious mysticism or cultural mythology by its critical, generally systematic approach and its reliance on reasoned argument. Philosophy is a critical examination of reality characterized by rational inquiry that aims at getting the truth for the sake of attaining wisdom. Philosophy is a subject at the core of most humanities courses. It focuses on abstract questions, for example, such as, does God really exist? Is the world really as it appears to us? How should we live? What is teaching? What is learning? Do we have genuine freedom of choice? And what is the nature of the mind? These very abstract questions can arise out of our everyday experience. The professional or academic stance on philosophy. In this stance, philosophy is viewed as an academic discipline. It is characterized by logical, consistent, and systematic thinking over fundamental issues. The aim of this thinking is to arrive at conclusions that are sound, coherent, and consistent. A student of philosophy becomes a critical, reflective, disciplined, rigorous, and a logical thinker on fundamental issues facing humanity. The main tool for the rigorous philosophical activity is reasoning and logical reasoning. In this sense, philosophy is divided into 5 main broad categories, which have been called philosophical branches or perspectives. Subject matter of philosophy. Philosophers are engaged in the search for truth as they take a comprehensive view by questioning fundamental conditions underlying human life. While factual questions are straightforward, philosophical questions are debatable and they have many varied possible answers. The branches of philosophy. Instead of being treated as a single unified subject, philosophy is typically broken down into a number of specialties due to its broadness, and it is common for contemporary philosophers to be expert in one branch but know little about another. The discipline of philosophy has traditionally been broken down into 5 main branches or field of study. The first one is metaphysics, which is the study of reality or existence. The term metaphysics itself literally means beyond the physical. Examples of metaphysical issues commonly discussed are: does God really exist? Does afterlife exist? What is the mind? What is the soul? And how are these two related to the body? The second branch, epistemology, is the study of knowledge. Among the questions that epistemology deals with are: what is knowledge? How is knowledge acquired? How can we know that something or the knowledge that we are given is true? And can we be certain about anything? The third branch of philosophy is ethics, which is the study of morality or the study of what is right and wrong, or good and evil in human behavior. Ethics is involved with placing value to personal actions. Important ethical issues today include whether abortion, sexual morality, the death penalty are right or wrong. The fifth branch is aesthetics, which is the study of art and beauty. Among the questions aesthetics deals with what is beauty? What is the relationship between beauty and art? Are there any objective standard by which beauty or art can be judged? Is beauty in the eyes of the beholder? The last branch is logic, which is the study of right reasoning. Logic is the basic tool that philosophers use to investigate reality. Among the questions raised by logic are: what makes an argument valid or invalid? And what is a sound argument? The meaning of education. Education means a wide variety of things to different people. For some, education is something we do in school in order to get a decent career. For others, education is the gaining of life experience. In the Webster's Dictionary of 1828, education is defined as the bringing up of a child through the combination of all that series of instruction and discipline which is intended to enlighten the understanding, correct the temper, and form the manners and the habits of youth, and fit them for usefulness in their future stations. Education, in its broadest sense, is any act or experience that has a formative effect on the mind, character, or physical ability of an individual. In its technical sense, education is the process by which society deliberately transmits its accumulated knowledge, skills, and values from one generation to another through institutions. Education is the knowledge of putting one's potentials to maximum use. One can safely say that a human being is not in the proper sense till he is educated. In consequence, the importance of education is that the training of a human mind is not complete without education, as education makes man a right thinker, and it tells men how to think and how to make right decisions. There are two types of education, formal and informal education. The meaning of philosophy of education. Philosophy of education is the philosophical study of education and its problems. In other words, it is the application of philosophical methods to the theory and practice of education. Langford, 1968, asserts that philosophy of education aims at the acquisition by educators of informed decisions about educational problems. Generally, philosophy of education questions the assumptions, beliefs, and viewpoints about the nature, goals, and functions of education. Philosophy of education enables us to understand the nature of our educational aims, objectives, content, and the selection process of such content. Education cannot operate in a vacuum. It has to be guided by a specific philosophy. Philosophy of education began as early in ancient Greece as an integral facet of the philosophy of Socrates and others who called themselves philosophers. Philosophy of education deals with how children should be educated, what they should be educated in, and what the ultimate purpose of education should be for society. If a person wants to be a more effective teacher, practically he or she needs to have a sound philosophical perspective that helps the teacher to see the interactions among students, curriculum, administration, and aims and goals of education. Philosophy of education is the study of such questions as what education is and what its purpose is, the nature of learning, the nature of education-related concepts, the source and the legitimacy of educational authority, the relationship between education and society, and the conduct of educational research. A few among the major figures in the history of philosophy of education include Plato, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and John Dewey. Philosophy of education and human development. The philosophy of education has been linked to greater or lesser extent with theories of human development, where the philosophy of education recognizes that the enterprise of civil society depends on the education of the young. To educate children as a responsible, thoughtful, and enterprising citizen is an intricate, challenging task requiring deep understanding of ethical principles, moral values, political theory, aesthetics, and economics, as well as in understanding who children are in themselves and in society. This presentation comes to an end with the following quote for your food for thought. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. That's by Aristotle, one of the greatest philosophers in our history. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation. There will be an assignment that I'll send via email to each and every one of you. And may you please read the module, the first module of this course in preparation for the assignment. Enjoy the rest of your day.